Hi everyone. Today we are going to see about the summer 23 release feature. So it's HTTP post. Basically, we are going to send our Salesforce uh, data to the external server through the post method. So we can see a detailed explanation of the this HTTP post because for this we need to configure our external credentials, principals, as well as a permission set net needs to be added to the principal, and we need to set a named credentials. So before going into the flow, so I have already done those setups. So I'll explain like what are the steps that needs to be taken prior to configuring a post action. So first we need to go for a named credential. The first step which we need to follow is to go for a named credential, and we need to go for external credentials. So under external credentials, I have already created. So for example, I'm showing. So we need to create an external credential. So external credential is nothing but a authentication protocol. So here I can provide my name and a label as well as a what kind of authentication I'm going to follow. So it's a custom authentication. So here you can see. So I have already created external credentials. So once after creation of the external credential, so we need to create a principal. The step 2 is to create a principal. So principal, prior to summer 23 release, we are having a permission set assignment in external credentials, but after summer 23 release, it will be like principals. So here we are going to set out my parameter name and what are the authentication parameters I'm going to set, whether, for example, my name and my what is the value, as well as like a country and what is like security questions. You can set it up here. After that, you need to go for permission set. So the third step is to create a permission set. So here you can see I have created a permission set. Under the permission set, we need to go for external credential principal access. So if you enable the external credential in this permission set as assign it to a specific user, then only it will work. Basically, if the user is not assigned or the external credential is not assigned to a permission set, then it won't work. So here you can see under the external credential principal access, I have added the external credential which we created. So here you can see if you edit, if you create a external credential and the principal, then here it will list down. You can enable it. After enabling the external credential, you can go for manage assignments and you need to assign your user record. So that's step number 3. After all these steps, you need to go for named credentials again. Now we need to create a named credential. So under named credentials, click on new, enter the label, name, and the URL to which website or any location endpoint which we are going to redirect. And in the external credential, select the external credential which we selected. And as per your authentication, you can select. Now I can leave it as blank. This is what I have created. So once setting up these 4 steps, we can go for the flow creation. So I'll again once again rewind the steps. So the first step is to create a external credentials, and the second step is to create a principals, and the third step is to create a permission set and enable external services in the permission set and assign it to a user. And the fourth step is to create a named credentials. So once after completion of these 4 steps, we can go for the flow creation. So this is a normal screen flow. So what I'm getting is I'm getting informations of a laptop, and I'm sending it to a external service, and there I'm creating a record, and after the record creation I'm getting the ID of the record. So these are the informations I'm passing, and in the set input value I am setting it to a post input collection variable. After that I am creating here. So here we need to, I'll show the steps how to configure here. So if you select action, under action, if you scroll down to the last, here you can see create HTTP callout. So click on that. So you need to provide a name. And select the named credential which we created. So and click on next. So here again provide a label. So here you need to select the method. So post. So all the thing which I am doing is in a pre-release org. So if you want to practice, you can create a pre-release org and practice on that. So here you can see API, RESTful API div. So this is a sample RESTful API testing website where I get the request and response samples. So here you can see your endpoint. So in that endpoint, I need to stamp the object as the path. After setting up, I need to send this request as well as the response. I need to provide the sample request. So here I'm having the request as well as the response. So copy the request. If you click on new, it will show up sample JSON request. So I need to provide a sample JSON request and click on review. So this is a data structure. So based on the request sample, it will create. You can click on done. So you can see request has been provided. Now do the same for response. Click on new, paste the sample response, click on review. So it has been formed, click on done. So now we have set up the sample request and sample response. Now if we click on save. So external service and HTTP callout action was created. So external service and HTTP callout has been created. So now we need to pass the input. So what are the values which we are going to pass as an input to the external service? So now we need to set up. So for that, here we are having set input values for the selected action. So here in the body, we need to create a variable. So the variable should be apex defined. It should not be a normal record variable or anything else. It should be apex defined variable. So in that apex class, it will be by default create external service, the post call. Since I have created a lot of post methods, so it's showing lots. So if you practicing, it will show as external service post call. So we need to select in body. So we are going to give as an input to the body. So it should be in body. So after that, you can provide a name and you can save it. So since I have already created, I'll show this how it looks. So this is the post input values which I have set as an input. So this is a variable. So in this input value, we will have all the parameters like name and CPU model, hard disk size, price, year, since which we have made as a request. We have provided a sample request. and that have created data structure. So that has been available here. So here you can assign the value from the screen to the apex defined variables. So here we are sending input to the external services. Once after creation, what we are getting is like I am getting the output. So from the response, I am trying to show the ID of the creation and as well as the response code. So I have provided my informations. Click on create record. So now you can see the record has been created successfully, and I got the ID of the record and as well as the response code. So these are the steps to create a post in a flows. So if you have any questions, you can ping me. Thank you.